What is going on, guys? Welcome into the Brusso Sports Show. I'm your host, Cody Brusso. Seattle Seahawks insider Colin Morris joining us today. How are we doing, Colin?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I cannot complain. We're about to get into some Seahawks football, and we're going to jump right into it. How are you feeling about the recent release of longstanding Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett and its impact on the Seahawks offense?
Well, I mean, I can understand the money side. I think given the recent trade with DK, it definitely leaves a hole. Cooper Cup coming in, he's had injuries in the past. I definitely feel that Tyler can, fill that spot as the veteran on the team. Um, up here in the Northwest, he's seen as the Seahawk. He's what represents the team, and he has for over 10 years. Now that he's been released, can we get him in on the cheap? It's possible. But I think he would complement Cup fantastic. So hopefully we can bring him back. But I definitely think long term it hurts.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned the DK Metcalf trade. Of course, that request coming after Lockett's released, and he was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you feel is the biggest loss on the production side with DK going over there to Pittsburgh?
He's physical. He's big and physical. That was a blessing and a curse. Trying to keep him reeled in with his attitude. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of flags that were always thrown because of his physicality. However, that definitely helped when we're going and doing the long ball. Um, we're losing that. Not to mention his speed. That guy is so fast, very talented, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a benefit to possibly move on, not only money wise, but because of the penalties that come with DK Metcalf, and the Steelers are going to see that down the line.
Gotcha. Now, of course, you do also bring in a new quarterback who's going to be, of course, trying to throw that deep ball, and he's going to have a smaller target with Cup, and of course, Lockett may be coming back, maybe not. But how has the decision to exchange Geno Smith for Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback, in your opinion, moved the needle forward for the Seahawks?
It's interesting because the stats are pretty comparable between Sam and Gino. However, we're getting Sam on a deal. And then more has come out on the contract that after the first year of Sam's contract, the Seahawks are free to let him go at no cost to the team. There's no penalty. So to me, it's win-win with the Seahawks. Gino's getting up there in age, and if he really wants to go play with Pete, fantastic. Pete's the one that really turned his career around. Sam's young. He's still in his late 20s. There's a lot of upside. And I feel like with the teams that he's moved around with, there's been a lot of growth. Clearly, with the Vikings, he learned how to be a proper pro QB. He had fantastic coaching around him. Hopefully, we can benefit from that, or the Seahawks can. And so moving forward, I think it's win-win, contract-wise and talent-wise.
Now, you mentioned Pete. What are your thoughts on Pete's departure from the Seattle Seahawks and moving on to the Raiders?
Boy, it hurt. It hurt a lot of Seattle fans. That guy, I mean, he brought us to the dance twice. I mean, I know a lot of people want to say what they will about, whether or not we should have given the ball to the Beast in the second Super Bowl against Patriots, but I mean, he changed the identity of football in Seattle. Um, I'm happy he found a home. I mean, he's in his early 70s, and I know he's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. I'm happy that he found a home, and hopefully he can turn the Raiders around. I'm definitely going to be watching. My father grew up a Raiders fan, so there is that connection. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy to see him still on the sidelines. And I hope maybe, Seahawks Raiders Super Bowl. You never know. I'd be down to see that.
Yeah, he's definitely going in as the oldest coach, I believe, this year. So we'll see what happens
Absolutely.
there with Vegas. So, what is your vision for the Seahawks' future under this new leadership?
Boy, you know, it's hard to tell right now. Mike McDonald, when he came into Seattle, he was looked at as the defensive guru. And I kind of figured coming in to the first season with the team, there's going to be a lot of difficulties, a lot of struggles. It happened towards the middle of the season. And then, it's hard to say where we're going. I'm hoping we get more physical. That's the hope with Kubiak coming in as the OC. We're going to run the ball a lot more. I think that's what we should have been doing most of last year. It would have prevented a lot of the interceptions that Geno had. We need to get the O-line squared away, which is a lot of the reason why Geno had so much struggles in the first place. Russ even had those same struggles. If we can get that taken care of, the defense is working itself out. I think we'll be fine. I think, there's still a lot to be said for Mike Macdonald as a head coach. For me, you know, it's jury's still out, I'll say.
Gotcha. Could we potentially see Legion of Boom 2.0?
It's possible. It's possible. I don't think we're quite there yet. But I mean, that was a almost a once in a generation type of defense. That I think, between Baltimore, Bears of the 80s, that type of stuff just doesn't happen all the time. And that's really hard to recreate, especially with Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. I mean, that was a stacked defense. So hopefully,
Definitely. Well, what are your expectations then for the Seahawks this upcoming season?
We either have to meet or match the record that we had last year or exceed it. Otherwise, and if we can exceed it, then we're going to the playoffs. And obviously, Super Bowl is the goal every year. But I think anything less than what we did last year is a step back. We have to keep moving forward. We have the talent. People can say what they want about Sam Darnold. He can do the job. We have Cooper Kupp. We have Smith and Jigba. We have the talent there. The defense is getting retooled. They're working right now on getting the O-line squared away. I don't see a reason why this team can't, at a minimum, win a wild card, but I do see division for sure.
Nice. My final question for you is, what advice are you going to give the Seattle management during this transition period?
O-line. Focus on the O-line. Get quality players to protect. Sam Darnold doesn't have the wheels that Geno had. And even then, I mean, our running game is nothing without that O-line. Every team, it always starts at the line. If you don't have proper people protecting and creating holes, this team ain't going nowhere. So that's the focus and that's the hope.
Cool. Well, Colin, thank you so much for coming on with me again. I am Cody Brusso. This is the Brusso Sports Show, and we'll see you next time.